So,
You're Jimmy.
I am Jimmy.
I knew that. See, I'm second.
You did? You know my question?
No.
My question is, I'm someone who really struggles with being present. And, you know, I got a website name called Not Here Now because yeah, and I have some questions in regard to that. One of the main tools that I use or that's affected me not being present is my cell phone, my smartphone.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I look around, I see so many people, especially in New York City, on their phones. And
So crazy.
yeah.
But even when they didn't have phones, they weren't here.
Do you think so?
Of course. This is something you can't think yourself into this. Thought itself is a prison. You can't think yourself out of a prison made of thought. Where else are you except here? You're always here. There's no place else you could be. But it's not here that you know that. It's looking out of your eyes all the time. It's hearing in your ears. It's feeling in your... There's no place else you could be except here. All you have to do, all we all have to do, is figure out how to pay some attention. So your issue is that you don't know how to pay attention. There's no place else you could be except here, ever, anywhere. This life, last life, a million lives from now, you're here. No possibility of being anywhere else, is there? 10 years from now, if you ask yourself, where am I? What are you going to answer? Here. We're always here. What we don't know how to do is recognize here-ness, being, because we're lost in our thoughts. That's all. And all the senses information that comes in, including the thinking mind. So we have to slow down, that's all. And you can't hit yourself over the head with a baseball bat to slow down. You have to be gentle with yourself, because from day one, nobody talked to us about being here. Everything was out there. Happiness is out there. Life is out there. The world is out there. You gotta slow down. And to slow down, you gotta slow down. So you have to find something to do that you can pay attention to, that will keep bringing you back to yourself. That's what chanting is about. For instance, you pay attention when you're singing. And even though you might be singing and singing along with the whole group, you might, after 10 minutes, you notice, oh my God, I haven't been paying any attention. Yet you've been singing. That's how crazy it is. Some part of you kept the singing going, the rest of you was somewhere else, right? So you come back. That coming back, recognizing that you've been gone, is the whole thing. That's the key to everything. The fact that you know you're gone means you're here. I'm not playing mind games. Here we are, we're singing, right? Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai. What am I going to do tomorrow? Yeah, I got to go there. But you're singing in a group, it's still going on. And then all of a sudden you realize, oh, I haven't been paying attention. So you're here again. You recognize it again. You haven't gone anywhere. You're still here. So you have to practice coming back. Recognizing you're gone brings you home. So you sit quietly. Your breath comes in and out. You just feel it going in and out. And then you're thinking about other things. Then you recognize, wait a minute, didn't I just sit my ass down here and I'm not paying attention? So come back. That's where the strength, the inner strength is all about that. Presence, the whole spiritual path is designed to bring us back from what we're lost in. Does that make any sense?
It does.
Yeah. So it's not about achieving anything. It's about recognizing, recognizing, remembering what this is, where we are, who we are. We're not somebody or something, we're here. And that doesn't really start to make sense until you really start to get comfortable just being. But we've spent our whole lives training ourselves to think, feel, want, act out, do all kinds of stuff. So taking a couple of deep breaths and sitting cross-legged is not the answer right away. But sitting down quietly for a few minutes and just letting everything go, set a timer for 5 minutes, and the timer will surprise you because you will have been gone for that whole 5 minutes. That shows you how much work we have to do. It shows you how gone we are all the time. It's not just, your phone is not the issue. It's us. We're gone, and we find all the different ways to support being gone because that's what we've been taught. Life is about.
You really feel though that in this, 20 years ago, people were still as much not here as they are today without having access to devices. Where do you think people are when they have their phones? Or where,
The
where
same
am
way
I?
that they are when they're watching movies, playing basketball, going to shows, talking to other people. Gone. It's just another way of being gone. It in itself is addictive.
Yeah.
And so the more addictive it becomes, the less ability you have to let go of it, the less will you have. So yeah, in that sense, it's maybe a more subtle and more efficacious way of being gone. But it's not more or less, the whole world is gone. Most people get born, go to school, get a job, drink some beer and die. And they're never here for a minute, not a second. They don't recognize anything. They never even ask the question you ask. That's how gone most people are. So the fact that you're even aware of this is already a big thing, a really big thing. It's the key thing. So now the next question is, what do you want to do? This is up to you. You have to find out what you want to do. I mean, you have to recognize that this is your own work on yourself that must be done, and only you can do it. Yeah. You can't get anybody else here. Nobody can.
Did you ever recognize do you remember when you realized you were gone? At what age?
I'm gone most of the time.
Yeah.
Sure, but I have a lot of tools that I use regularly, or are used by regularly, to remind myself I'm gone, and that brings me back. I'm doing this automatically. I'm not paying any attention, but every once in a while I'll remember, because my hands are moving. Oh, Ram. Most of the time I'm not paying any attention, so it's bullshit. But every once in a while it'll pull me back. Every time you come back, you've planted a seed of here-ness. You've sunk an anchor into the here and now a little bit more deeply. Every single time. But every time you go away, you're also planting the seed of being away. We planted lots of those seeds. What we need to plant are seeds of being here. And totally possible. You only have to do it. And you do it. Why could you even do it? Because you've recognized the issue. That's all. But don't go back judging others and thinking what's going on out there. Is it worse or better? That's just mental masturbation. Recognize that you want to be here now, find a way to do it. It's a process. It's not like this. All of a sudden, I'm here. I'll always be here. No, it's not like that. It's dedicating yourself to living a good life and overcoming the selfish, self-centered motivations that we usually do all day long. Live with, and by all day long. That's how you get here, because when we're here, everybody's here. And we recognize it's our own fears and our own stuff that's keeping us locked out of our own hearts, which is where we want to be. So it's not theoretical. It's really deeply emotional in a way. Longing we hiding from in ourselves to really come to be ourselves. We feel we're victim of life. We've been washed down the tubes, but guess what? We're still there. Always be here. Know where you can go. But we want more. We want to feel that more deeply. And that's what spiritual practice is. That's all it is. Slowing down, recognizing what it's like to be a little slower. You have to put the brakes on sometimes. You have to do that, but it takes a while to slow down because we're going so fast. I'm on sabbatical, if you didn't notice. Yeah, I put the brakes on 3 months ago. I'm still going 150 miles an hour, but I was going 250 when I put the brakes on. So that's good. Takes time. Takes time. Yeah, it's a train. It's a train. But the heart is always breathing, but we're not paying attention. You know? So it's a bit of it's an emotional thing to try to find yourself, you know, after all that's happened to us, to try to find ourselves. It's a big thing. It's really, but what else are you going to do?
Look at my phone.
Good luck.
Joke.
No, I mean,
No, I want to get rid of it.
where's my phone? Don't get rid of it.
No.
Just, here it goes again. The awareness is what changes everything. The awareness. Yeah, you can practice taking time off from it. Put it away for a day or a half a day and see how many times your mind goes to it. And then you see how much time and then the next time you pick it up, maybe you won't be so attached. Or over a period of months, working with it that way, you won't go for it so automatically. You recognize that you're gone. And if you recognize you're gone, you're not gone. Now, I'm not saying judging yourself. Oh, you asshole, you're gone again. Then you're gone. But seeing the forgetting again and again and again is very helpful. That's what undercuts that. That's what practice is about. Even people who are just watching their breath like this. Before the breath goes out, you're gone. But you come back, you train yourself. It's training. In Buddhism, they call it mind training. You're training your mind to pay attention. Nobody can do it for us. And if we don't do it, it doesn't get done. And it would be good if we did something to help ourselves. Sure. Wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for the time. I really appreciate it.
You too. Take good care. Say hello to Eddie, huh?
I will.
Okay.
Thanks. Thank you.
Hi.
You are?
My name is Samantha.
And you?
Patrick.
Hi, how you doing? Thanks for coming in today.
Thank you for having us.
Wish we had veggie burgers we could order you. So, just tea. So, what's your question? What's on your mind?
Okay, well, I recently gave up drinking. And
Recently, you said?
Recently, in April.
Oh,
Yeah, April. And I really use like your chanting as one of the tools to help me get through kind of the early stages of non-drinking, you know. So like there was even one time I drove from Philadelphia to New York and I just listened to Om Namah Shivaya and like repeat the whole time, and it was very soothing. So I was hoping that you could comment on why that was helpful. Like why is chanting, especially on repeat, so soothing to people who are recovering from trauma or addiction?
Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah. What do you got?
My question is similar as to how to apply the message that you bring into our daily lives, and it's prefaced almost with a story, really. After one of your events in New York last autumn, I saw a gentleman who I recognized from being in the audience yelling at a parking lot attendant because he
It was
didn't.
me.
Because he didn't agree with the price on the parking receipt.
Ah.
And it reminded me of the phrase, "It's easy to be a holy man on top of a mountain." So my question, similar in that, how can people apply to their daily lives the message that you impart, that collective consciousness that's shared when we're together, but, you know, how do we carry it on?
All right. I'm not sure what message I impart, but I know what you mean. And you know what? It's all about connecting. When I sing, I'm connecting with, the way I talk to myself about it, I say, I'm connecting with my guru. My guru represents this space, this presence of love, acceptance, calmness, love, just being in this relaxed, where everything's okay. That's what it was like with him. In fact, it's probably the only time in my whole life when I was with him, I was home again. This is it. This is home base. So we're like been shot out of a cannon. We don't know where we came from. We don't know where we're going. But when we hear it, we know it. You still can't grab it because it's not to be grabbed. It's something to be recognized, recognized. It's inside of us. We find a way to keep reconnecting again and again. When we're drinking or doing other kinds of addictive, destructive behaviors, we're completely unconnected to ourselves. We're on automatic. And many of us are trying to numb out some kind of pain that we can't deal with, some kind of trauma, without even being aware that that's what we're doing. And you get into a groove where you lose your will. You lose your will. It's like you're driving down the road, but you're not steering the car anymore. You took your hands off the wheel. So it's reconnecting is what, finding our sense of direction again. And how do you do that? The chanting. For me, it's the chanting. When I heard it in India, I went, oh. And when you hear it, when I do it, and when I do it, I hear it. That's why I do it. I go, oh, that's right. And then I sit down to sing. Everything falls into place. Even if it's just for that 2 hours. After that, it can all fall to shit again. But for those 2 hours, at least everything that's happening is just running through the system. I'm being here. I'm coming back out of those programmed behaviors, out of those thought forms, out of those obsessive stories we tell ourselves, right? That's what you feel. It feels right, and you want that. That's what we all want. But in this culture, especially, we're not brought up to believe in that. We're taught about organized religion, and we're taught about how to find pleasure in life. Those are the two things, and avoid pain. That's it. And none of that is going to work. None of those strategies work. So the answer to the situation that you brought up is learn to trust yourself, which is the hardest thing to do. Because we don't love ourselves. We've made the wrong decisions all our lives. Why should it be different now? The difference is That's all. And when you know, you have a choice. When you don't have a choice, you don't have a choice. Next. When you wake up in the morning on the street or on the bed or on the floor and you don't know what happened, you didn't have a choice. But when you do have a choice, you can make that choice. You can make the choice that's better for you in your own eyes. It's not easy. We're never taught to do that. So we really think we're powerless, and then we lose our will by not using it. So it's just a question of listening to yourself and following your heart, doing what you know is in your own best interest. Sometimes it's not easy. Sometimes you just have to get into a car, put on the CD and drive for 3 hours just so you won't go get a drink. But that moment will pass, and that gave you strength. That will develop the ability to override those compulsive behaviors. And then, once there's a little space in there, you can start looking at them in different ways. You can get counseling, and therapy, and AA, and all these things. They help. All these things help. But why do they help? Because they put you back on yourself. They teach you to listen to yourself and trust yourself. And also have the faith that it's going to be all right. You can listen to yourself, and it's going to be all right. And when we hear the chanting, we know it's all right at that moment. But then the mind starts working. Then the stories start going. That's where we lose our vote again. But in that moment, we have a vote. We vote for the right thing for us. We always do in that moment. And that's what we have to learn, not only to listen to, but to honor in ourselves. That we know what's right and wrong. We know what's good for us. We know the difference. And we can do what we've given up our strength. Our compulsions have taken it away from us in a way. But we're still here. Right? Last time I looked. So this is where it is, always right here. And it'll always be right here. When you ask yourself, where am I 3 days from now? The answer is going to be here. What you're dealing with at that moment might be a little different, but you're still here. You'll always be here. No matter how much you drink or smoke or how much drugs I took, I'm still here. I was here then, I'm here now. You're always here. But there's so much self-loathing and so much shame and guilt and fear going on in there that it's hard for us to kind of settle back into ourselves because we don't like that stuff. So at some point you start to bring some of it out of the closet and throw it away, little by little. But that takes strength that we not always have. We don't always have that much strength. But we always have the strength to say no or yes. You always have, because you're here. If you were here, there'd be nothing to talk about. If you weren't here, there'd be nothing to talk about. And you'll always be here, regardless of what you do to try to numb that out. When I was going to kill myself in India, Maharaji looked at me and said, what are you going to do, jump in the river? I thought, he's not taking this seriously. He said, worldly people don't die. He looked at me, worldly people don't die. Then he looked at me, and this little Hindu guy in a blanket looks at me and said, only Jesus died the real death. And I went, huh? He said, because he never thought of himself. There was no, his life was for others. There was no personal, selfish ego in there anymore. It had been merged with God. So Maharaji said, he tried to die, but he became immortal. That's the way he put it. So all we do is think about ourselves all day long, and most of the stories we tell ourselves are not very pleasant. When those stories arise less and less, then we begin to get a feeling for ourselves that's a little different. And you recognize you're not the stories that you've been telling yourself all this time. Those are programs that we learned, behaviors that came, we brought something into this life, we were taught certain behaviors and we're living it out, but we're here, we'll always be here, even Even if we commit suicide, we'll be here. It'll just be a little different. But we are here. This is a hard one, you know. I mean, that's what he showed me. Because really, I was going to kill myself. I was having a complete breakdown. I say complete, but how complete could it have been? I'm still here, all these years later. So we have to learn to trust ourselves and give ourselves a break. Because nobody teaches us how to do that. We have to teach ourselves how to do that. That's all. Nothing else is required. So you do whatever you can, you know, you have to. Get in the car and drive for 3 hours. Do that. Turn it up. You know? Whatever it takes, that's what you do. And that's how you get strength. So they say. It's a long, strange journey from here to here. You know, but we have to go like all the way around just to get back to where we are. Okay? Good? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for coming. Take care. Take your cup. Om Shri Matre Namah. Om Shri Matre Namah. Jambe Gauri Jai Shama Gauri. Om Shri Matre Namah. Om Shri Matre Namah. Om Shri Matre Namah. Jambe Gauri Jai Shama Gauri. Om Shri Matre Namah. Om Shri Matre Namah.
Matre.